Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots. Andrew Lee, I know this is always do this, but check out the shirt. You know, like always gotta have somebody that was on the show.
You don't have a UWF shirt?
No, I don't even think Herb Abrams' family has an
You
UWF.
failed me. You failed us, Ray.
Today we are. I bet you one of these weird wrestling fans would make one though if we asked.
There's
Today
got to be somebody who has a UWF shirt. There has to.
maybe Dr. Death's family, his wife. Today we are diverging. We're moving away from WCW and WWF to talk about the UWF. They only had one pay-per-view. Then Herb Abrams did all the coke, and whatever coke was left over after he died, he gave to Tony Khan. And we're gonna be covering UWF's Beach Brawl '91. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. They didn't monetize the videos. There's no commercial breaks, which is great. So you can watch it for free. So just type that in. We don't have to, you can find it. Overall, what did you think of the show before we get into other things? Overall, how'd you feel watching this thing?
Not the worst pay-per-view we've seen so far.
Well, it was short.
Yeah.
I mean,
by
another
the way,
hour it would have been.
I take the time into consideration. You have to, because I'm like, you know what? Like, if it's long and it's not good, then it's a different story. But the fact that it's a very quick watch and it's not as bad as you think it's gonna be, Like some bad's bad, but some of the matches are not bad at all.
But also, it's like it's very uninspired. Like if this was happening now and you went over to a friend's house to watch this, I don't think you'd feel the need to like watch the weekly show. You just would have been like, all right, that happened for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
I think if you asked me, if I was like, I'm gonna kill you, or you have to watch either this or like Bunkhouse Stampede '88, I think I would
This
pick
is better. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at it that this is not the worst pay-per-view I've seen, yeah.
So what do you think? Because this guy, people forgot this guy existed until like three years ago. Herb Abrams we're talking about when everyone started comparing him to Tony Khan, and I never really saw a video of him until today, and this pay-per-view. What do you think? Does he remind you of Tony Khan?
No. So it's kind of an unfair comparison for me because they did a Dark Side of the Ring about him, right? So I had already seen him, but the first time I ever heard about this guy and UWF was in Mick Foley's book.
Yeah.
Because Mick Foley, I think Have a Nice Day, he talks about this, and the story's crazy. He like, if you read Mick Foley's book, he talks about how this guy died like naked, covered in cocaine and all that, right? And Mick Foley and his wife laughed at him. They like laughed and they were like, we laughed because like if you know this guy, that's exactly how you pictured he would die, right? Like that's what he says in the book. Like when I read this to my wife, we just looked at each other and we laughed, and because she had met him too, and they were just like, this is kind of like how he pictured he would die anyway, so it made sense. And that's the first time I ever heard of him. I saw him in Dark Side of the Ring, and I actually did watch him in. I don't know if you knew about this because I knew about this even before AEW. There is actually a shoot match in UWF because he ordered it.
No, I didn't know that. Why don't you give us some background?
Yeah, I think it's the Renegade or something.
The Renegade Twins because they're on this show.
Yeah, no, not the Renegade Twins. UWF shoot fight. He orders he suspects somebody to be I think it was Steve Ray.
Spy?
I think it was Steve Ray. I think he was in the show. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a white guy. I always get confused with Stevie Ray. But the white Steve Ray. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wild Thing Steve Ray. If you could look this up, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube as well. Abrams suspected that Steve Ray was sleeping with his wife. So he had Dr. Death Williams shoot on him in the ring, and you see him like punch the shit out of this guy and everything. And after that, there's a moment where like Herb Abrams kind of comes into the ring to like say some shit to Steve Ray. And that's the first time I ever saw Herb Abrams. shows, right?
He does this on
And
live
then,
TV.
what?
He does this on live TV.
I don't know if it's live, but it's in their fucking it's on their fucking
I mean,
show.
it's a TV taping, so I mean, it's the equivalent of like Triple H thinks that Austin Theory is fucking Stephanie McMahon and has like LA Knight actually break his arm and then go into the ring and talk shit.
Yes, yeah, it's on their TV,
Austin
exactly.
Theory has no idea what's happening. Here's the audience. Like,
Yeah, and here's the thing: I don't think it's ever been proven this guy was sleeping with his wife.
yeah.
And supposedly Steve Ray like shook hands with Dr. Death afterwards. Like, because yeah, you got it. Dr. Death will kill this fucking guy, right?
Dude,
But I think he shook hands with him because he said something like I know that he was just following orders. Like my heat's not with this guy, even though he beat the shit out of me. And I know I'm just saying this because I can't beat the shit out of this guy. But that was like the first time I saw him. But like I mentioned to you here, Dixie Carter reminds me more of Tony Khan. But let me ask you, does Herb Abrams remind you of Tony Khan?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
He's the first guy, and I maybe Vern Gagne and Fritz and Bill Watts were like this too, but I didn't really watch it. But to me, of all the companies we've seen so far, he's the first guy that is constantly reminding you he's the owner. Now, I know it's hard to believe, but back in the day, Vince didn't want little kids to know he was the owner. So like on the show, they would just act like he's an announcer. They would never. There was no like veiled references. Every now and then Jesse would say something, but he's the only one. Everyone would just pretend this guy's an idiot. It's talking about Vince. And in WC,
you want to hear something really stupid?
You didn't.
I really did not know he was the owner until the Montreal Screwdriver.
I know, but that's what he wanted. He wanted that. He succeeded.
But do you remember how, like in '92, there was on the news where he came out and admitted wrestling was fake because of the steroid trial?
Yeah, in the news, if you were like an adult and you read, but
I remember seeing that in the news and still not thinking he was the owner.
Probably thought like, oh, someone had this talk for the company, so they brought.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I honestly thought like, well, he is like this. He's the guy who's always like doing commentary and stuff, so they used him as a spokesperson. I legit did not think he was the owner until like, it's embarrassing if you think about it because it's really fucking late. It's like what 98, 97.
Wow, that's really late.
That's a long time for me to think.
I realized he was the owner in 1990.
Did you really?
Yeah, because the news reports, and then I stopped watching wrestling, and I would see the trial stuff in '94, and that's like he's on the news as the owner. I mean, you can't, they can't,
You didn't think he was like the spokesman?
No, because the news said a news report said he's the fucking owner. He's the owner. Yeah, so
I was just like a stupid kid then.
Yeah, but that's what he wanted. He was hoping that he banked on every kid being as dumb as you. And he want people to know he was the owner. He didn't want that on the show until he had to save the company. And there's not even like veiled references. If you like really go through the show, they're not even making veiled references. Like there's no like everyone just treats him like he's an idiot, and that's what he wanted on the show. But so yeah, and in WCW, I mean, unless you're like us now, where we're 40-year-old. Well, are you 40 yet?
I'm 41.
Hebrew. Unless you're like a 40 guy who's been listening to fucking shoot interviews for fucking 20 years and you're 40, no one knows who Jim Hurt is. You don't really know who Jim Hurt is watching WCW. You know what I mean? Like, so this is the first guy who's like, I'm the owner. And that's something a lot of them do now. And but he's the first one, if you really think about it, because he's not a former wrestler. He's just a guy, and he can't stop himself on camera.
Yeah, just a dude. Yeah,
he's just a dude. Like I could kind of get why Bill Watts wants to be on TV because, like, hey, people watch me on TV for 30 years, so they're gonna trust. So let me make the announcements because it's my company. Same thing with Vern Gagne and Fritz, but like this is just some guy, kind of like Tony Khan. So now we
add something to that. I know Vince probably thought we were stupid kids, but you know what? This motherfucker sold his grandfather's company, his family's inheritance, just to be in charge for 2 more months, if 2 more months, and now he's no longer even in charge. So who's the idiot now, Vince? Right? Who's dating now, Junior? You sold your fucking family's inheritance because you're insecure. So I mean, like, that's got to be a bigger deal than he got played, dude.
he got played.
He got carnage, dude.
I'm convinced. So again, I'm a year behind the podcasts, and Eric Bischoff does an interview with Sean Ross Sapp, and he's like, and Sean Ross Sapp brings up a great point. He goes like, why do you think? Because at the time the story got leaked to the Washington Post that Vince wanted to come back, right? But there are people in the company that don't want him back, right? And he goes like, why do you think that got leaked to the Washington Post and not me? Because if I report it, no one in the mainstream is going to take it seriously. But someone in the company really doesn't want Vince back. This is December of 2022. And that's why they went to the Washington Post. Because when you go to the Washington Post and give this story and it gets printed in a major newspaper, then everyone notices. He goes, that's why it wasn't leaked to me, it was leaked to them. And I'm thinking that Stephanie was the one who leaked it to the Washington Post, that we don't want Vince back.
I think there was probably a lot of people who did not want it back.
Yeah. But someone went to the Post, and because this is like, we knew
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Stephanie who.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I think Stephanie. And so he lost his daughter over this. Because remember, she's the only one who leaves. Nobody else, and we have not seen her. We have not heard from her. She doesn't post on Instagram. She doesn't fucking post. She doesn't do anything. Nobody says like, oh, I ran into Stephanie at this party. You don't see anything about her. She went from the CEO to being, dude, she's in witness protection, bro. Like, it's fucking crazy. So
dude, we see more of Junior's shitty mustache than we have of her.
Dude, I will say this though. If she walked out on AEW made out with Tony Khan, I would give Tony Khan 97 flowers. I would be like, all right, that's if Tony Khan hired her, but also hired her as and he walks out and just makes out with her. That's like the last 5 minutes of a Dynamite. I'd be like, all right, then he could be an on-screen character. But
why? I no offense to TK, but he's beneath her.
No, but like if he was able to pull it off, like, hey, I want to hire you in AEW and you're gonna be executive, and she's like, okay, I'll come to work for you in AEW. I'll be your second in command. And we're gonna bring. He goes, also, I want you as an on-screen character, and I want you to be my girlfriend on screen, and we're gonna be characters. And she agreed to that. I would that. But you know how you said he should be an on-screen character. That would break wrestling in half. No one would recover from that across the board. Everyone in wrestling would die, would fall into a shock.
Oh yeah, 100%. They should just do it just to like fucking shock.
Dude, everyone, I'm talking like from Kevin Nash to fucking Steve Ray would not recover from that. That's one of the things.
not recover.
Everyone would just be like, what? Like, and he's just like making out with her for like 5 whole minutes. The announcers don't talk, the wrestlers don't move. Like, he's just making out with her, and Dynamite just goes off the air.
I mean, it would never happen, but yeah, it would be super shocking. You know what I think would be amazing? If Junior starts working with Tony Khan.
He can't. He's still in the company. He's just but the way his deal works is they can't get him out of the company. But they can.
He could leave voluntarily.
But he's not going to do that. He's never doing it.
What if Tony Khan said to him, my company's falling apart. Can you like be in charge?
No.
You don't think he would leave in a heartbeat? He would.
No.
Yeah, he would.
He'll never leave WWE.
He loves being in charge.
He'll never leave WWE. But AEW's not his baby. Doesn't matter. If WWE went out of business in 97, 98, let's say like everything flops and WCW crushes them, I just think he would have like created another company. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he would have waited a year or two. I don't think he ever would have went for WCW. I don't think he ever would have like went to work for like ECW, TNA, whatever comes after him. Like, I think he would have started TNA with the Jarretts. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like this guy loves being in charge. He just loves that power.
No, he loved being in charge of the WWE, WWF. He is gonna sit in his office and find a way to fuck over Triple H and Ari Emanuel. There might not be a way.
That I will agree with. I bet you right now, he's instead of sleeping, he's plotting his way, trying to get back.
if there is an opening for half a second on like Christmas Day to get rid of Triple H, Vince will take advantage of it.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
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 So like that's what he'll do. But listen, we're not here to talk. Well, okay. So here's the other thing. Let's just finish talking about current events, and then we'll move on to the actual.
Yeah, let's talk about current events. I've been kind of out of the wrestling news.
Well, there's only one current event. We kind of talked about this on the last show, but we recorded the last show Tuesday, right after the Tuesday Night War, which NXT destroyed AEW. But Tony Khan was already tweeting like an idiot. And then it went on and on and on for the rest of the week. And then on Friday, he brought up his mother. And I don't know, I know you lost your father, I lost my mother, and I lost my father. I kind of got really, really annoyed by those last few tweets about his mom in WWE. What did you think about Tony Khan's tweets and the stuff about his mom?
I like it. It's funny.
He's crazy, but I also get annoyed.
Insane. It doesn't bother me, and I actually want him to become. I've told you this. I want him to become
an on-screen character.
I want him to become an on-screen character because it's just so pathetic. There's no recovery from this. He can't apologize if people are just gonna forget and forgive him. He needs to just like go all the way and just do it like every day and just become an on-screen character. It's funny.
Yes.
You hate it though, right?
I hate it. I would agree with the on-screen character. If he can get a hook, maybe not Stephanie, but if he can get a hook where he does something unthinkable, then yes, he should be an on-screen character. But he's got to get a hook. I just realized the Stephanie thing would be incredible, right? So, like, if he could get that going, if he could be like, I'm going to be in a gay romance with Sammy Guevara, I don't know. If he could get something weird, something like no one expected going for his character, yes. But overall, I think if he was a character, it would just, like, ruin the show. No, his tweets, I hate them. They, dude, during the pandemic, we used to sit and watch 4 hours of wrestling every Wednesday. Like, I watched every Dynamite, even though I was annoyed. Every time I try to give this guy a chance, he does stuff that makes me not want to watch the show. Right now, we're recording on a Wednesday. It's 9:22. We're not watching Dynamite. We're talking about Herb fucking Abrams, okay? Nobody does that. But his stuff is just he's so fucking unlikable. He is
kind of, he is unlikable.
100%. I like Dixie Carter more. I like Eric Bischoff more. I like Herb Abrams more. Like, he is the most unlikable guy to ever run a wrestling show.
You think so?
To me personally, yes. Because I feel like I could get a beer with Dixie Carter or Bischoff or Vern Gagne or Bill Watts. And even if I don't agree with them on things, I feel like I could have a good time with them. Like if I just went to dinner with one of those, you know what I'm saying? But Tony Khan, I feel like I would get annoyed. I would be like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, halfway through the dinner, I want to punch him. You know? He's like he's just like every fucking douchebag. You know what the problem with him is? Is that, like, I get he started AEW appealing to, like, the losers, right? But I thought, like, okay, I'm going to appeal to the losers for a little bit, and then we're going to go mainstream. But he just doubles down on catering to the losers. And it's like, I don't know. I can't stand the guy.
You know why that doesn't bother me? Because that's what I said he was going to do very early on. Remember that? I said you got to get over the fact that he's not going mainstream. He's going to cater to the niche market because he doesn't care about money or anything like that. So I always knew he was going to do that. So that doesn't bother me as much. Now, do I think his tech tweets are cringy? Yes, absolutely. But they're so bad that they're hilarious, right? Like, I can't believe this is a real human being and he's not doing this shit ironically, you know? And I think, like, at the end of the day, I do want them to succeed because I like having this alternative.
I don't mean to interrupt.
But in order for them to succeed, like, we got to get past these ridiculous tweets, and I'm like, they can't. So he's got to become a character. He's just got to keep going overboard, you know.
But that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I want them to succeed. He's not gonna let them succeed because every time I give them a chance, and you know me, I've given them chances. I've spent money. You have not spent money.
You spent way more money on them than I have.
Yes, and I predicted that they would fail. So I've given this guy chance after chance, and he keeps doing things that, and now I've stopped. I don't, I'll go to the shows for free. I get free tickets, which is fucking insane to me.
I mean, you have liked some of the stuff they have done, right? Let's be
Dude, but
honest.
yeah, I have. I like the Edge Christian promo and stuff.
The
But like,
Sting, when Sting
but like,
debuted, was cool. When when
but
CM Punk
CM
came in,
Punk, yes. But every time I like something, then a few weeks later, it makes me feel like an idiot for trusting him, like more so than WWE ever has. And that's the thing. Like, I loved that Edge promo 2 weeks ago where Christian said, "Go fuck yourself." I thought that was great. And then,
can
like,
we, speaking of Edge,
oh,
I don't
but
know
hold
if
on,
you
wait.
saw
Can I
it.
just finish my point? Then we'll talk to
Yeah.
you.
Uh-huh.
So I really fucking love that promo. And I was like, oh my god, I'm all in. I want to see where this goes. They're gonna beat WWE because this Edge thing is so fucking good. And then he just starts tweeting like a fucking idiot. And then again, I feel like a fucking moron for thinking that like every time I want to give them a shot, he does something so fucking annoying that I don't want to watch them again. Anyway, I'm sorry. Now continue what you were saying.
Okay. So you mentioned Edge, and this kind of ties into Tony Khan. I don't know if you knew or saw it. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. Edge was on Collision, and he had a little back and forth with Ricky Starks, and supposedly it they kind of annoyed the shit out of both of them, and it might be like a backstage thing or not. I don't know if you saw it. I liked it. I fucking liked it. I
I
liked that they
liked
were.
it.
Yeah.
I the only person who said that there was drama was Ringside News, and they lie a lot.
Oh, okay. So maybe there is no drama because I was gonna say if there's drama, like, do you think Tony Khan's gonna nip this one in the
No,
butt? Even learn his lesson? Okay.
no. He could walk tonight at the end of the show. Edge could be stabbing fucking Lance Archer or whatever the fuck they call him over there. And Tony Khan will not be able to handle it. Like he'll
You know
just
what I think Tony Khan should do? He should pay Dr. Death Steve Williams to come in and
well, he's
shoot
dead.
up both of them.
He's dead. So
I know, from the dead, from the grave.
yeah. No, but I could see. So my thing on the Edge, Ricky Starks, I could see either way. I could see it not being a problem, and they were just freestyling. I could also see though Edge. You know, we got to remember Edge is an old guy. He worked at one place for 25 years. That's a really long time. And you kind of get set in your ways.
Yeah.
So I could see him showing up, and now it's like 3 weeks in, and he's like starting to get annoyed with everyone, being like, "None of you know what you're doing." Like,
It happened. Mm-hmm.
there's a certain way I do things, and I'm an old man now. I'm a 50. There's a certain way I fucking do things. There's a certain way that we've all gotten results by, and none of you are doing it this way. And now you're just saying, and I could see him like losing control because he's old and things are not done there. Things are not done the way they should be done over there. So I could see him being old and being annoyed. I can see it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can too as well.
You know how it is, dude. You work at a job. Imagine you show up at a job and like everyone's doing everything retarded. You're gonna be like, what the fuck are you all doing? Like, they're all like drooling on the fucking paperwork. And you're like, we gotta get this paperwork in. What the fuck are you all doing? Like
I think I think it's gonna be very interesting for the next couple of days, next couple of weeks.
But if Edge does have drama, where it's like a same thing where he's fighting somebody in the back, Tony Khan's not gonna handle it at all. It's gonna just
I feel like that's probably going to be the case. Yeah.
Yes.
Too bad. That's very sad.
Speaking of drama, let's talk about UWF Beach Brawl 91.
Yes. We're gonna talk about this. That's right. As Ray mentioned, UWF Beach Brawl takes place June 9th, 1991 in Palmetto, Florida. The attendance is about 550 people. That's right.
Doesn't look like that. It looks way less.
550 people. So they have less than 1,000 people in attendance. And if there's going to be some parts of the show where it's going to look way less than that.
Yeah.
Right?
Way less. It looks like 30 people at some point.
Oh, yeah. It looks pretty terrible. So we're, right off the bat, we get like a video montage. We get former great wrestling greats like Bob Backlund and Bruno Sammartino. And then you see some of the UWF guys, and we get a rundown of the card. So far, if you're watching just the video package, it looks like it's going to be decent. You know, you're like, oh, this looks like standard 1990s wrestling pay-per-view. Brian Riggo welcomes us and he introduces Herb Abrams, the owner, the founder of UWF. And he's got this fucking big belt. It is a television championship belt that they're going to be crowning tonight. It's a white. It's got the UWF letters. I do like that the letters of UWF. Okay, I like this belt. This is me. I like the way it looks. What did you think about the belt? Let me just say that.
Oh, it's nice. I also like wrestling companies that have U in it. I kind of feel like the U letter is very official.
Yeah. Do you know,
when WWE introduced the Universal title back in 2016, I kind of thought it was a tribute to Bill Watts and this company, because I'm like, we haven't heard the term Universal in years in wrestling. And when they called that title I thought that was first of all, I thought that was very weird. They called it the Universal title, but I kind of thought it was a tribute to this company. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't think that, but you can actually find pictures of this belt with Herb Abrams online if you want. Just got to type in Universal UWF television title. It's white. It's got the letters UWF in the plate, but the letters UWF is green. Is that a new dog?
No, it's Jasmine.
It looks different.
Oh, I got it groomed.
Oh, great. But the letters UWF are in green, yellow, and purple, and I kind of like that the letters are different colors like that.
That's nice too. Yeah. That's different. That's very 90s.
Yeah, it is. It just I don't know. It looks good. What happened to this title? Who do you think has this?
Probably Tony Khan.
Do you think
who has like the biggest belt collection in the world is Dan Lambert? I wouldn't be surprised.
I know. Yeah. Do you think Dan Lambert has this belt?
Yeah. If I was a belt collector, this would be one of the top belts I would want, because this is such an obscure belt. Why wouldn't you want it?
Exactly. That's what I was wondering. But anyway,
I'd rather have this than some of the WWE titles. You know?
Yeah, I would like to have this belt. If I had a lot of money and I was like a belt collector, this would be one of the titles I would like to have too.
I think even if I was like a billionaire, like if I had Elon Musk money, I still wouldn't collect the belts.
If you were a billionaire and you had a lot of money, you wouldn't collect belts?
No. I'm just not into them. The only belt I would get is if I could get the Intercontinental title from the Warrior was champ with like the neon straps. I would get one of those. If somebody was like,
how much money are we talking about? Like, how rich?
I'm talking like Elon Musk money. I still wouldn't.
Okay. I won't lie to you. If I had like Elon Musk money, I would do what Tony Khan does, and I would actually collect wrestlers.
Yeah, I might do that. But
the wrestlers, I would collect them. You know?
I'm not a belt mark. You know, my friend, because he used to make jokes. We would go to wrestling events and we'd see like hot chicks with guys with belts, and he used to joke to me like, you know, you get a the way to get a girlfriend to get a belt. And actually, we were doing the podcast when this happened. My friend Ricky, he bought me the WWE title for my 40th birthday.
Yeah, and you never wear it on this podcast, and I want you to. I want you to do the podcast with a fucking belt on your shoulder.
Well, no, I think, you know what? I'm gonna do this. The next WWE show I go to, I'm gonna bring the belt. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna see what happens.
Please do it. Yeah,
because I haven't. I feel like I'm offending him by not wearing it.
Do you ever go to? There's been times where I've been to like live events, and you see fans like with the fucking belt, but they're doing like the Stone Cold walk to the concert.
Yeah. I've seen that.
I love those guys. Those guys make me laugh so much. Oh.
But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take a lot of photos, because the only reason to wear it is take a lot. But whatever the next WWE show I go to, I'm gonna wear it, even if it's WrestleMania 40, because I'm probably gonna go to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian Riggo, going back to the UWF, Brian Riggo is interviewing Herb Abrams, the owner, and they go, hey, who do you think is gonna win? And he goes, I picked Dr. Death to win. And I already knew he was gonna win after he said that. That's so stupid.
Yeah, why would you say that?
They asked the owner, who do you think is going to win? And he's like, picks Dr. Death. They're like, oh, he's clearly going to win.
But here's the other thing, too. Even if you're Bam Bam and you win that night, in the back of your head, once you hear that, you're like, well, am I just a transitional champion? He's going to go with Dr. Death eventually because he picked Dr. Death. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And at this point, I'm kind of already thinking wrestling's like not real, even as a kid. Like there's a part of me that goes like, I know it's like not 100% real. So like I'm already like fucking realizing shit. So it's kind of clear. But anyway,
you know what Vince never did that. There's a
no,
couple
he's not. He wasn't an idiot back then.
the
No.
couple of times where someone said to him, like Jesse or Bobby Heenan, like, "Who do you got for this match?" To be honest, both competitors could win at any moment. Anything could happen in WWE.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
Vince beat anything can happen in the WWE. I think he beat that into the viewers' heads because if he changed his mind on the fly, if he decided like he got to Raw and he was like, you know what, Billy Gunn should beat Bret Hart for the title. He could, if Billy Gunn did it, he could scream, everything could happen in WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Like,
I think that's the way it should have been done. I think he had the right thing in mind. Bruno Sammartino and Craig DeGeorge will be on commentary and run down the card. I don't know if you guys remember Craig DeGeorge, but he used to be in WWF. I remember when we were doing one of the pay-per-views, I actually asked what happened to this guy. Well, here is where he goes, actually.
Yeah.
Right here in UWF.
And Bruno was a color commentator for WWE. He's not on the pay-per-views, but he did do color
as well. Yeah, went to get his son to wrestle for them.
Awful commentary team. Awful. Yeah. Bruno in particular is terrible. Listen, Bruno may be a legend. He may be one of the most important wrestlers WWF ever had. Guy can't fucking talk to save his life.
I actually think Craig DeGeorge was worse.
I could see that too. Why do you say that?
This was not a good commentary team, man. I remember when we were watching the old pay-per-views where you see Craig on the show. I do question where did this guy go because he wasn't so bad as an interviewer. Well, once I saw his commentary, I realized why he was fucking fired, and he probably disappeared from wrestling after this. He is awful. Frank East, he's an interviewer, and he's got Bam Bam, who kind of gives a sloppy promo. He doesn't really know what to say. He says shit like, I have mobility, Joe-bility, and whole-bility. I have no idea what the fuck that means. Those are his words, by the way. I got mobility, Joe-bility, and whole-bility.
Whole-bility. That's like something Godfather would say.
Yeah, I know, it is. But those are Bam Bam Bigelow's words. But he does say he's got a new outfit, and he can't wait to show it off. And says he's going to win the title for his son, who's having a birthday today. So that's Bam Bam's promo. Then Frank East is with Dr. Death, and he gives a stronger promo on how he's going to beat Bam Bam Bigelow. These are the two guys in the main event. We're going to move on to our first match. It is the Black Hearts, Apocalypse and Destruction. Two guys in masks, kind of like the Demolitions, like fucking S&M masks. With Luna Vachon, who's got a fucking python around her neck, versus Firecat and Jim Cooper. So this is going to happen a lot throughout the show, but they're going to announce the hometown, and it's not going to match the hometown of the graphic. Because when they announced the Black Hearts, they said, they are from your worst nightmares, but in the graphic it says anywhere in USA. So I'm like, all right. The Black Hearts, they're supposed to be like a gothic gimmick. It's supposed to be like a satanic gimmick, kind of like Kevin Sullivan. And if you're thinking Kevin Sullivan's demonic gimmick is really shitty, this is exactly like that.
It's
so they get into the ring and they try to like light a flash fire, but it's not working. They have to do it like 2 times. So stupid. And as the match begins, you can really tell why Craig DeGeorge sucks so bad. He's so bad. He's not calling moves right. He's not calling covers, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you know what? You know who looks really good in this? Firecat. Firecat's
you know who I thought looked the best in this? Luna Vachon.
Luna Vachon looked great in this, but as far as wrestling goes, because she's just the manager, Firecat looked good, and actually Firecat used to work in WWF as well under the name Battle Cat.
Oh yeah. He was there very briefly. Yes.
Yeah. The only problem is he's small. I hate to say it, but he's small. But basically, what ends up happening, the Black Hearts hit a guillotine leg drop on Cooper for the win. Afterwards, Luna Vachon starts beating on the Fire Cat.
That's what I liked. That's what made it
Yeah,
look good.
yeah. And the music gets turned, and then like all of a sudden the music gets turned off abruptly, and you could hear how silent it is in the fucking arena. What did you think about this first match, man?
I thought it stunk. I thought it was terrible, but I really love seeing Luna. Dude, there has never been anyone before or after like Luna. There really hasn't. And I'm wondering, like, everyone, you know what the problem is? Everyone does like this cutesy goth thing. I want to see someone just do this fucked up goth thing. Like, she's just fucked up. Like, you can just tell, like, her dad molested her. I don't know if that's true or not. But like, it's just like she's just fucked up, damaged, insane woman who could like kill you. And she's so fucking good. But the match stunk. I this was not a good opener. The minute this match hit, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long show, even though it's only 2 hours.
Yeah. Luna Vachon is great. I just love her name. Luna Vachon just
Dude,
sounds like such a great name.
can I tell you, like, I know we said this about that fat chick in AWA, but if you want to stand out, if you're a new female wrestler, like if you're like, I don't know how many 18, 19-year-old girls listening to this that want to be wrestlers. But
AWA.
remember there was that Peggy Lee Leather, where like
Peggy Lee Leather, yes.
yeah. But if you want to stand out, if you want to fucking not like Abaddon, because Abaddon's not good at this, copy Luna Vachon, because nobody has ever copied her. And I think if you copy her, you'll be beating Rhea Ripley for the title in like 5 years. Like copy Luna. Like no one copies Luna. And I think it's time. It's time.
I mean, Luna's great because she really goes 100% into her gimmick.
Yeah.
Like shaking half her fucking head, using that really scratchy voice, fucking drawing all over her face and shit. She was legit a lunatic. She had a lot of mental problems, and there's a dark side of the ring about her that really goes into depth about everything.
Yeah, she had a lot of issues.
She had a lot of issues, but man, she was quite the performer. I will give her that. Quite the performer.
That's my advice. If you're a young girl, if you're like 18, I want to be a wrestler. How do I stand out? I mean, you could be hot with a Nikita Lyons ass. That's fine. But I think if you copy Luna, you're going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Because nobody's doing what she's doing.
I like this because I like her and I like Firecat, but the rest of them were one of those guys in the Black Hearts. He's actually Gangrel.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, and the other guy is Luna's first husband.
Oh wow, Jesus.
Yeah, so she ends up marrying both the Black Hearts. Yeah, eventually.
But she didn't marry the third Black Heart, Owen Hart. So.
Oh,
he died.
She did it. At least we don't know about it.
I mean, they could have.
Match number 2. It's a street fight. Mr. All-America, Johnny Ace, who is billed from Malibu, California, but when they showed the graphic, he's from Clearwater, Florida.
By the way, remember it was supposed to be Don Morocco, and then they had to like change it.
Yes, they said Don Morocco was sick or something, and he couldn't make it.
Yep.
I think this was a better choice, by the way. Johnny Ace versus Terry Gordy. And DeGeorge says, this is how bad Craig DeGeorge is as a commentator. When Johnny Ace comes out, Craig DeGeorge goes, Johnny got a so-so reaction. Like, why would you fucking say that, dude? Like, who does that help? Like, who does that fucking help?
Doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, like it doesn't help anybody. Like he's Johnny Ace, I think is supposed to be like the good guy, and you're making him look shitty. And Bruno starts covering for him to be like, oh, well, Johnny, I don't think so. I think Johnny Ace is great. And I was like, dude, if Bruno has to cover for you on commentary, that means you're a really shitty commentator. Because Bruno himself is not a good commentator.
Bruno's horrible too, yeah.
But Bruno's smart enough to know that you probably should be making this guy look like garbage. Anyway, Bruno really loves Johnny Ace. In this whole match, he's talking about how great Johnny Ace is.
Trying to get a job in 20 years now.
Yeah. I fucking hate Craig DeGeorge. So in this match, Terry Gordy takes like a really fucking good clothesline, and Craig DeGeorge goes, Terry Gordy's on Queer Street, and I don't think he thinks Bruno didn't hear him, so he has to repeat it again. He says it twice. He might be from Bad Street, but I think he's from Queer Street. I'm like, you fucking suck. This guy fucking sucks so bad. I am a big commentary is a big pet peeve for me, and I fucking listen to it very carefully. Yeah, and I fucking point out stupid fucking shit that people say. Anyways, this fight, it goes from the ring and it starts going out into the crowd, which is a huge mistake. Right? Because you start seeing all the fucking empty seats. I'm like, why did you guys go out into the fucking crowd?
I kind of like by the end of the match because they were like, we don't want to see this, and they just remember.
Yeah, so when you're watching this pay-per-view, they do a pretty good job of like keeping everything super dark, so you can't see how empty it is. But when they go into the fucking crowd and they gotta get the spotlight on these guys, that's when you really see it, and you're just like, good God, this is where it looks like it's like 30 fucking people, you know? And they ring the bell and they do a double count out, and I'm like, double count out in a street fight? All right, that's dumb. It's really dumb finish to I thought was a good match up until this point. The crowd starts booing, but these guys just keep fighting. They fight for a very long time after the bell rings. But what did you think about this?
I thought it was a great match until that fucking finish. Why the fuck? Yeah. Everyone knows street fight is code for no DQ.
Yes.
No one has DQs or countouts in a street fight. A street fight is you fight in the fucking streets. It doesn't mean you fight in the fucking ring. Yes. And I liked it until that finish. It was probably one of the worst finishes we've seen so far. And it's like, it's one of those things where it just kind of kills the crowd. Because I think the crowd kind of figured out, oh, it's one of these shows. Like, these guys don't know what they're fucking doing. Like, we thought we're going to see like a little brawl here. And they counted out the guys in a street fight. So, fuck this company. Like,
yeah. I mean, say what you will about Johnny Ace. The guy could wrestle.
Dude, Johnny Ace is really good in this match. He was really
him and Terry Gordy, I thought it was some good chemistry. It just was
really good. Yeah,
like Terry Gordy, he's very underrated too. Like for a big guy, he could wrestle pretty fast, but this finish really just like stinks.
It really they could have something special with this match. And talk about just cutting off your own fucking legs, bro. Like you could have this match, I could tell the crowd was into it, I was into it, and then you just fuck it up with one of the worst finishes I've ever seen.
You know what? Just don't call it a street fight. That's problem solved.
Don't just be like, this will be a grudge match or something.
Yeah. Because the way they kept fighting afterwards, I would have been like, oh, this is a feud for the next pay-per-view. And I would have been like, okay, I'm okay with that. But they're so stupid. Anyway, we're going to go to match number 3. It is the Power Twins. And they are announced as being from Power City, New York. But the graphic says Long Island, New York. Right? The announcer also says that they're coming with John Tolis as their manager, but there's no John Tolis. So the Power Twins get on the microphone and they say the UWF says John Tolis is not allowed at ringside. So we're mad, and they have fly swatters, right? For some reason. And they're going to be facing Mass Confusion, which are the formerly known as the Killer Bees.
And they're still dressed as Killer Bees.
B. Brian Blair and Jumpin' Jim Brazil. Yes. So this is a typical, tag team match where the Power Twins are the heels, and they're dominating most of this match. Both the Bees get tossed outside the ring, so they both start putting on their Mass Confusion masks, and they change places, and this fools the Twins. And while the referee's distracted, the other Bee kind of comes back in. The one who's being beaten up the most of the time, he just comes back in. He does a sunset flip cover for the win. This will be the longest match on the card. It's like 12 minutes. What did you think about this?
I thought it stunk. I thought it was stinky.
Their Killer Bees gimmick.
The Killer Bees are kind of good as they were good in WWF as a like dollar store version of the Heart Foundation. Oh, we couldn't get the Heart Foundation to drive to this town, so you get the Killer Bees. You're like, all right. And you have like a nice little tag match where it's like the Killer Bees versus like the Dream Team or whatever. Like in the 80s, in WWF in the 80s. I didn't mind them in WWF in the 80s. Like they're a good little utility, like we need to kill 15 minutes. Here's a killer bee, so everybody can go pee and shit or whatever and get food. But not in the WWE. The mask thing kind of killed it because they don't look alike. And then they started like I think Vince just wanted them characters, so he started giving them masks. They don't look alike, and calling them Mask Confusion was fucking stupid. Yeah, I don't know. And the Power Twins had no talent. I didn't like this match at all. I thought it stunk.
You're wondering where the Power Twins will end up. They will go on to be in Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12 as Andy Garcia's character's goons in the back. So
that's it. They never wrestling.
I mean, that's pretty good. They have speaking lines and everything.
Well, I would say Kurgan had a better Hollywood career. He had a fight scene with Robert De Niro in the first Sherlock Holmes. So,
yeah, and I guess that came out more recently than Ocean's 11 and 12.
Yeah, and also like Robert De Niro's Robert De Niro. So
Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. I'm sorry, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, well, they were Andy Garcia's. Whatever. Anyway, that's where the Power Twins went.
Right. Good riddance.
Yeah, match number 4. It is for the ladies' title, the inaugural women's champion that they're going to have at UWF. Candy Divine versus Rockin' Robin. Now, while the ring announcer is introducing each lady, it gets cut off and there is a voiceover. And I'm assuming this is probably due to music copyright issues.
Yeah, so there's a lot of times where Herb Abrams talks over the entrances and the finishes, and I think it's because he didn't have the rights to certain songs.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was either I don't know if this was released on home video, but maybe it was, but it certainly feels like this is a home video release and they re-edited it for home video.
So that is Herb Abrams' voice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So they shake hands. Both ladies shake hands, and then as Rockin' Robin has her back turned, Candy Divine attacks her from behind. If you are watching this on YouTube, around the 55-minute and 50-second mark, you hear someone in the crowd shout, "Blame it on Vince!" And
that was Dave Meltzer.
I was like, what did he? I wanted to figure out what they wanted to blame on Vince. I didn't get why they would shout that.
The show sucking, or
well, this
Rockin'
match
Robin
sucked.
not getting a push. I don't know.
Yeah, this match sucked. I mean, maybe that's what they talk about. Rockin' Robin, she missed fucking times a drop kick, and then fucking Candy Divine missed some other fucking move. There's some bad chemistry between these ladies. Robin eventually wins with a roll up, and then that's about it. What you think about this match?
Well, the match sucked, but what I did notice, and I don't know if you noticed this was the most revealing outfits in our journey. I don't know. I didn't watch other wrestling. We're not watching like the regular. These are the most revealing outfits the women have worn on pay-per-view. Like Candy Divine's ass is practically out, and Rockin' Robin has her titties out. I mean, they're not like super. They're not like.
I mean, Rockin' Robin's always had hard nips on like every fucking outfit she wears.
I know, but like she was covered up more in WWF.
I mean, didn't we see like a lingerie battle royal?
No. Oh, that was yeah. In but they really didn't go all the way. Yeah, I know you're talking about AWA, yes. But Candy Divine's ass was really out. Like it was out. It was out and about.
I mean, yeah, her ass was definitely out. Yeah.
But the match sucked. Yeah, the match. Rockin' Robin didn't have it. She wasn't
Rockin' Robin. As much as I want to like her, she stinks, bro.
She went through a lot. Her life sucked.
Yeah.
And, but she stinks.
Yeah, she went through a life. Her life stunk, and she used her wrestling.
She's no Jake Roberts or the other guy, her brother.
Yeah, Sam Houston.
Yeah, like she went through a lot, but but no, this match didn't hit. I kind of felt like they definitely were going for more cheesecake with this match than what we've seen before.
I had some cheesecake this weekend.
And let me tell you, Dusty Rhodes has some cheesecake too.
Yeah. I mean, like some actual real cheesecake.
Hey,
it's pretty good. Yeah. Match number 5. It's a strap match. And we get a video recap of Colonel De Beers.
This was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
No, I disagree. So we get a video recap of Colonel De Beers just abusing black people. Left and right. But there's nothing to do with Paul Orndorff, but he's in this match.
That was the thing.
They're like, we're getting a video recap, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I got to see some history between why Colonel De Beers is fighting Paul Orndorff, but there's no Paul Orndorff in any of this recap.
It's
So
just
I'm
him
like,
being a fucking racist.
yeah, wouldn't it have made more sense if like Colonel De Beers had a strap match with a black wrestler?
Or a black wrestler cost him the match.
Yeah, but like,
Nothing. There's
well,
no
why
payoff.
Paul Orndorff? It made no sense. Actually, were there any black wrestlers on this show?
I don't think so. Colonel De Beers had them all murdered before.
That's racist, yeah. So, strap match, Colonel De Beers versus Paul Orndorff, who supposedly comes out with MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This, but if it's on YouTube, you're going to get a voiceover. So that sucked, because I would have loved it. This is not a strap match. This is a belt match. Right? Mm-hmm. Strap match is supposed to be like, I'm pretty sure, like, guys connected or whatever, but this is just using a belt.
This is not that.
They do a spot where Colonel De Beers, he's looking for the strap or a belt, and he can't find it, but because he can't find it because Paul Orndorff's laying on the ground, laying on the mat, and he's hiding it. So De Beers just gives up and decides to go up to the top, and when he's coming down, Orndorff basically hits him with the belt and then hits a pile driver for the quick victory, and afterwards, De Beers gets a stun gun and uses it on Orndorff, and then he steals the American flag. It is a very quick match, very quick. So that is why I don't mind.
I hated it.
What did you hate about this, dude?
I hated the buildup of him being a racist. I hated that they made this. They put this. The video package was kind of interesting, and I'm like, all right, well, there's gonna be a payoff in the match, which is why they're showing you all these things. And then it's not. It's just a match between him and Paul Orndorff, and he beats up Paul Orndorff. And it's like, can you imagine? Like, it'd be like if WWE at WrestleMania 7 showed you all the background between Rick Martel and Jake Roberts, and then Jake Roberts had a match with Bad News Brown. And like, why did you just show me that? He's just having a match with Bad News Brown at WrestleMania. It was so. I want to know who told Colonel De Beers this gimmick was a good idea? Because
what do you not like about this gimmick? I like this gimmick.
It's career death. I mean, he's never gonna get hired by Vince with this gimmick. He's never gonna be hired by WCW. The gimmick is like in bad taste even back then, let alone now. He's never gonna be like honored or remembered. It's like a dead on arrival gimmick, and he's not even that good of a worker. And like the storyline, like was all build up but no payoff. And it's like the guy's just racist, and then nothing comes of it. So.
He's super racist. He's like, I'm not wrestling because the referee is black.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and it's just, I get it's funny but it's like, why did you think this would help your career in any way, shape, or form? Like, you're not even, like, I feel like if he had a different gimmick, Vince would have brought him in to be like Skinner or something. You know what I mean?
Dude, I won't lie to you. I kind of want to see a gimmick like this now because it's so, like, not that, because it's just, wrestling is all about like just over the top, like obnoxious characters. And I think like if there was a guy who was just super racist, I mean to all races, just being like, I'm not wrestling any Mexicans and any Japs. Right? Like,
it would be funny, but like Twitter wouldn't allow it to be. Like Twitter would have.
I would fucking die every time this character was on TV.
Oh, but I hated this match. Dude, I want to just ask this guy, like, if I could ask him, like, why did you think this would help you?
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Well,
I just want to know, like, why was this? Did you think like Vince McMahon was going to hire you and like let you wrestle Hulk Hogan? Like, what did you think was going to happen with this?
Well, he 100% was doing this.
Thinking he.
Because at the time this was in the news.
No, right? I get it, but like it's so like we just saw Vince be racist with Saba Simba, but this is so over the top racist. Like Vince won't even touch this. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like, I can't do it. Like there's just nowhere to go with this guy. There's just nowhere to go with him.
I bet you like Bruce Pritchard probably showed him a video of like, what about Colonel De Beers, and showed him this. I bet you he fucking laughed his ass off. He was like, I can't use this. But
there's no, even if you bring him in and change his character completely, like you do, like what they did with the Bushwhackers, there's just people are gonna be like, so you approve like people, it's gonna come back to you even back then, and that's before people got canceled for everything. So it's like it's so bad. Like like people say cancer culture is like just recent, dude. It's so bad they would have got canceled back then if they used it. Like it's
I
just
can't
like
believe he's still alive. This guy is 100% still
still
alive.
alive, and it's just I want to know like did you like I want to ask him like number one, did you want to main event WrestleMania? Like was like when you would see WrestleMania 3, did you think you could do that? Did you want to wrestle Randy Savage? Did you want to be on Night Show? Did you want to be on Raw? And if he goes, yeah, like then why the fuck did you do this gimmick? Because there's no way these people could touch you with this gimmick. Even back then, you did it. You went too far. But it's funny because he went that far. But it's almost like he killed it. He killed like he doomed himself to be forgotten.
Do you think he actually is racist? And he was
That might be it. That's why.
this lets
If
me
you're
get
not
away with
racist,
saying whatever I want to say. Yeah.
yeah, because if you're not racist, like if you're not really, really racist, why would you commit to such a racist gimmick?
There's like you could see it where he actually Colonel De Beer's Aryan Nations Church, where he invites all his Caucasian brethren to join him, and the rest of the
dude. So I did. I looked him up on Wikipedia. Wikipedia was saying his feud with Jimmy Snuka was so shocking. Like people were like he feuded with Jimmy Snuka in AWA, and people were like, what the? He was like apparently so racist at Jimmy Snuka. People were like, what is happening? Like, dude, this is the '80s, bro. People are like, what is going on with this angle?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's definitely an insane gimmick, but I mean, it's wrestling. It's pro wrestling, dude. We had fucking Saba Simba. Come on, like this is that.
I know, but
Racist
this is worse than Saba Simba somehow. I can't.
I think it's on the same page for me. All right,
Uh,
so this part, in my opinion, is one of the worst parts of this show. So Captain Lou
oh,
Albano comes out for a captain's corner. It's a talking segment. And he says he's going to be interviewing the Black Hearts and Luna Vachon. And they come out. And Captain Lou hates them. He's shitting on them, making fun of them as they are coming out, calling them buffoons. Look at this girl. She's a buffoon. She's a bimbo. What about Luna? As they're walking to the ring. And when they get into the ring, he doesn't ask them a single question. He talks rapid fire, making fun of them, insulting them. And then he goes, I don't like you guys, so I'm just going to leave. And he just fucking leaves without asking them a single fucking question.
mm-hmm.
This did nothing for Luna Vachon or fucking Blackheart. I hated it. This was actually the worst part of the show, in my opinion.
Well, I think the thing with Captain Lou was he always went into business for himself, and that's why he never got anyone over. When I was a kid, I liked him, and now looking back, I watched some of the stuff now, and I'm like, this guy was horrendous. Like he was horrendous. He's like a guy that could only be over in the 60s and 70s. You know what I mean? And he was a good actor. I liked it. You know what? The best thing he ever did was when he played Super Mario in the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Remember that?
I used to remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
that song in the movie actually.
Yeah, and he would sing the song on the show. Actually, no, I don't want. I have the DVD of that show. That was the best thing he ever did. Looking back, he was fantastic. He was a good actor, but man, as a wrestler and a worker, he was fucking the pits. And he just buries these. I have a feeling he wasn't supposed to leave the ring. I have a feeling they were supposed to like go back and forth, and he went into business for himself, and he made Luna look like a fucking idiot. Yeah, I can't stand him anymore. He stunk. He's a guy that like he just belongs in 1975. He's already out of date 1976. That's the thing I can say about him.
So, I'm glad Vince McMahon got rid of him.
Vince saw him for a fucking buffoon, and
yeah, supposedly he's because he slapped Shane as a kid.
Well, the thing about it is there were certain people Vince was supposed to take care of, and he took care of all of them but Captain Lou. Captain Lou was on the list. Like you have to take care of these people the rest of their lives.
Mandated by his father, the original Vince.
And Captain Lou's the only one that he didn't honor that. But I totally
the story I heard was because he slapped Shane.
But also he'd always show up drunk to work, and he was very nasty to Vince. He had no respect for Vince.
Yeah. And I used to see Captain Lou at like the Big Apple Comic Con by trying to set up a booth and people have sign his pay for autographs and stuff, and I was like, I'm not paying fucking $20 to get an autograph from this fucking loser. I remember thinking that too. I was like, I'm not paying this guy.
Yeah, he's a loser, but
Yeah, he's a loser now. He's dead now, though.
he's a dead loser. So
Yeah, dead loser. But if you're a Captain Lou fan, this will not be the last time we will see him.
good for him.
Yeah. Match number 6. Ivan Koloff with Mr. Red versus Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund, this is supposed to be his like return match. Like he hasn't wrestled in a very long time. And Bob Backlund hits a O'Connor roll with a bridge for a very quick victory. Like it's a 2-minute match. This is the shortest match on this show.
Yeah.
Captain Lou comes back out and he gets in the ring. He attacks Mr. Red and then he fucking rips his pants off. Mr. Red's a big fat guy, so he's wearing these.
Mr. Red, Johnny Valiant, Johnny Valiant.
He is?
I think it might be. He looks like him.
Oh, he's the big fat. I thought he reminds me of Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not him. He looked very much like Johnny. I'm like, maybe Vince owns the rights to Johnny Valiant.
What did you think about this match number 6?
I hated it. And the thing about it is Bob Backlund could still go. We're gonna find that out in only 2 years in WWF. We're gonna find out he can still go. And
yeah, I mean, this match he looked good, but the thing is, it was like a 2-minute match, so I was like, it's not really fair. But his O'Connor roll and bridge looked fucking good. I was like, yeah,
dude, isn't it crazy? Like 3 years later, even if he only held the belt for a day, he still held the belt. Like that's fucking crazy.
That is so crazy. I was a big fan of the Mr. Bob Backlund character.
I thought when Bob Backlund went nuts, I thought that was great. I just was shocked.
Yeah,
I was shocked that he actually got the belt though.
Yeah, me too. And I was.
But I get why, because they needed to get Diesel over. So
I was shocked when he snapped the first time. Like,
well, I wasn't watching. My friend told me, but I was like, really? They turned him heel? Like that's wild. Yeah.
Like, because I don't remember Bob Backlund from back in the day. I don't remember him at all. I just remember like he's a former champion. He's making a comeback and he wants a match against Bret Hart, and then Bret Hart won, and then like he fucking like snaps and he does that thing, and I was like, what the fuck's wrong with this man? Like, I really thought he snapped. I was like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, so it was kind of disappointing because we know, like, if they gave Bob Backlund a real match, he could have delivered.
Yeah, here's the thing. They say that Bob Backlund, like, is he still alive, by the way?
Yeah, he's still alive, too.
Oh, jeez. Bob Backlund, he, like, stopped wrestling for a while, right? Because he was in WWE, and then he kind of
He got very upset by the Hogan turnover. Yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of retires, right?
He goes to EWA for a little bit, then retires. Yeah.
Yeah. They said he dropped out of pro wrestling scene in 1985, but he returned. He returns here in UWF's Beach Brawl. So if you remember, this is a former world champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
He disappears from wrestling for like 5 years, and like more than 5 years, and he comes back, and he does this like really quick 2-minute match. This is very, I don't know. I just expected a little bit more, you know, but I guess
I hear you. Yeah, I was very disappointed.
Yeah, but anyway, whatever. At least we got something.
Yeah, and he's gonna be a champ, so good things are in his future.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to our penultimate match. We're going to get a video package of the Wet and Wild tag team versus Orndorff and Cactus Jack. And unlike
Orton, Bob Orton. You said Orndorff.
Oh, Bob Orton. Yeah, Cowboy Bob Orton. Sorry. Unlike the Colonel De Beers Paul Orndorff video recap where it made no sense, this one actually makes sense because these two teams are actually feuding multiple times. They showed that the multiple times that they were clashing. So this will be match number 7. Cowboy Bob Orton and Cactus Jack with John Toles versus Wet and Wild Stevie Ray, the guy who supposedly slept with Herb Abrams' wife, and Sunny Beach. Toles is going to be put into like one of those cages, and he's going to be kind of in the air near the ring, but not above the ring. Mm-hmm. And Cactus, this match, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, Cactus Jack, he's fucking crazy. He hits like a second, maybe from the top rope, like an elbow drop to the fucking floor. It's a cement floor with no fucking mats, and it's like for 500 people.
He's killing himself, and no one gives a shit. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. And he gets up, he's like fucking limping. His right hip looks like it's fucking hurt. There's a ref bump, and then Tolis throws brass knuckles into the ring, and Orton, sorry, Bob Orton, he picks up the knuckles, and he goes to hit, but he hits Cactus Jack instead for Wet and Wild to win this match. We kind of saw this recently with Ron Simmons versus Butch Reed in their steel cage match. And I think this was done fairly well as well. Cactus Jack is bleeding, and Cactus Jack and Cowboy Bob Orton, because of this miscommunication, they start fighting afterwards. I didn't hate this. What about you?
I didn't hate it, but like it didn't like nothing about it stood out to me. Like, they did the post match angle and to set up, to set up a feud. So funny that like I'm kind of shocked that they didn't have Mick Foley mention this when he was feuding with Randy years later. Like, I used to be partners with your dad or something. I knew you as a kid,
I
Like
think he probably wanted to, and they were like, "We're not mentioning anything from UWF."
UWF, yeah, because it was like I'm like, yo, it's so because I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, it's crazy. He has like his big comeback match against his son. Like people kind of like forgot like he's retired, and then he had that killer backlash match. You remember that one, right?
Yeah. That's what helped. Even Bob Orton said that's what helped get my son over. His son.
Yeah. So like it was kind of funny they're a tag team in this thing. Yeah, I couldn't get into it. It's just
What a weird tag team, by the way.
that is a weird tag team, yeah. But especially now that we, after all these years. But maybe it wasn't that weird back then to the 5 UWF fans, but it was very weird. By the way, when they show the recaps, every other building that they had besides this looks 20 times better than this building. There's so many different arenas. There's like one, they have an outdoor arena where it's like, why do you have the pay-per-view there? Like all the other buildings they ran look so much more professional than this fucking building.
You know what's interesting? I had to read through some research. I read about it. Herb Abrams actually hired some guy to help him promote and stuff. And this guy was recommending a different building in a different location.
Mm-hmm.
And Herb Abrams was hell bent on doing it here.
It looks hard.
The guy kept going like, the other guy he was working with was like a promoter of women's wrestling. Like a women's wrestling thing. And the guy was saying like, you should really do it here. And Herb Abrams was like, no, we got to do it here in this Florida place. So it backfired, and I think their partnership ended after a year too. They were just like, I'm done working with you, dude. But the reason why they did it here was because Herb Abrams wanted to do it. So, you got no one else to blame but the fucking owner.
I always blame him.
Yeah, you're right. You should.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We get a video recap of Bigelow and Dr. Death. It was a tournament, and they show you the recap of like them winning through the tournaments. Not a good look because some of those matches, you do see how, actually in every recap, you do see how empty every single arena or show is pretty much. The final match, the UWF Sports Channel, because that was actually the channel that they had the television show on. It is for the UWF Sports Channel TV Championship. Bam Bam Bigelow, with his most iconic outfit, in my opinion, versus Dr. Death. Is this the first time he's going to wear this outfit?
No, he wore it in WWF.
Not like, that doesn't look like this.
No, it did. Go back to Survivor Series 87 and WrestleMania 4, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because he said he had a new outfit in the beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, no.
Because didn't he have it with the design where there's some shitty bee and shit, like right in the middle?
No, that's later. That comes later.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, before the match begins, Herb Abrams, he comes out with new belt, and this fucking guy, he is so tiny. Is he legit like a midget?
I don't know, but he's everyone's gonna be tiny next to Bam Bam and Dr. Death.
No, he's really small. He's smaller than the referee. I didn't realize how small he was until I saw this. But he tries to shake everyone's hand, but Bam Bam Bigelow attacks him. and then fucking Steve Williams like comes in. They're fucking hitting each other hard. Both men are bleeding. Dr. Death, he is very impressive. He hits some very impressive power slams, and it's Bam Bam Bigelow. This guy is fucking picking him up and throwing him around. I was like, Jesus, this guy is strong. The last one he does, it looks like he's about to lose his balance, but he fucking maneuvers it into a power slam for the victory. Herb Abrams presents Dr. Death with the belt. Both him and Dr. Death say that Dr. Death is going to take on anyone from anywhere, any federation, whether it be Japan, Tokyo, whatever. And Dr. Death afterwards also cuts another promo saying he puts over Bam Bam Bigelow, saying he's 400 pounds, he's fucking, he's the fucking shit. But I still beat him, but he's going to go for everybody. I actually like this match. I think this is a very good.
It's a hard hitting, a lot of meat on meat.
Yes, this is one of those matches like you could see on any of the WWF pay-per-views. Like I could picture this. Yeah. It's like it's one of those things where because the main event was actually good, actually helps the entire pay-per-view.
A little bit, but I mean, didn't help them that much. They were out of business shortly after, so.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was good. Dr. Death's promo though that he cuts a really long promo at the end. And I'm like, oh, that's why you went nowhere, because it's like
it's not the worst promo. I don't think it's terrible. He's just like, I'm gonna take on anyone, and what do you call it? He puts over Bam Bam. I think is this like the best pay-per-view I've ever seen? Absolutely not. But the fact that this match is on it and it's like a quick 2-hour show, I can't say it's the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen.
It's not, but also the other thing, it's free now. You could just go on YouTube and watch it whenever you want. So that's also a plus. It's not. There's been worse WCW shows so far. But Bunkhouse Stampede. I would even say like some of the early Starcades were pretty terrible. So this is not the worst, but it's uninspiring, and it doesn't make you feel like we lost anything, that it went out of business.
Oh no! Absolutely, I don't think I lost anything at all. Yeah. I think
it's just if you want to watch wrestling for 2 hours and you don't want to spend $1 and you have YouTube, here you go. You know what I mean?
If you want to see like Bam Bam Bigelow in a fucking main event, if you want to see like Terry,
if you want to see Candy Divine's asshole, like there you go.
Yeah. If you want to see why Captain Lou's a dick, this is a good one to watch.
It's like it's like if you like have this weird like hankering for obscure wrestling history, this show's for you. But we're covering it because it was a pay-per-view. So all in all, not that bad. All right, the next 4 weeks. Next week, we have Great American Bash 91, which is Lex Luger versus Barry Windham. In 2 weeks, we have SummerSlam 91, which is Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter in the Triangle of Terror in a handicap match with Sid Justice as the referee, and then Macho Man marrying Miss Elizabeth. Ooh. Then in 3 weeks, we have Halloween Havoc 91, which is Ron Simmons versus Lex Luger. And then in 4 weeks, and this one I'm excited about, and I'll tell you why, Survivor Series 91, Hulk Hogan versus Undertaker. I have never seen this show because when I was a kid, I would not watch shows where Hulk Hogan lost. And I refused to watch this. So I've never seen
really?
It. Yeah. I didn't watch this or King of the Ring 93 ever. So I'm going to watch it for the first time for this podcast. And I'm looking forward to it. I've just always kind of stayed away from it. I own it on DVD. I never owned the VHS, and I've just never put it on. And I've always wanted to watch the other matches, but I just couldn't. I was like so fucking angry that Hogan lost Undertaker, and it's been over 30 years. I never put it on.
Is that out of all the shows we're gonna watch in the next couple of weeks? Is that the one that you're looking forward to the most? Because
I've never seen it. Yeah. What about you?
Actually, I'm looking forward to in 2 weeks what'd you say, SummerSlam?
SummerSlam 91. I mean, that's
the wedding thing. I really, dude, that brings back such good like fond memories.
Me too. That's the thing. Like that, but like, because I've watched the 92 pay-per-views all the time. I've watched 91, 90. The only one that I would used to sit and like have SummerSlam 91 on repeat. Same thing with SummerSlam 90, Royal Rumble 91. The only one, WrestleMania 8, I would watch a bunch of times. The only one I would never put on was Survivor's, and I never even bought it. I only bought it because it was a box that was Survivor Series 91. And that's from that era. That's from the era that I love to sit and watch. So
Wait, if you didn't like watching Hogan lose, then you didn't watch WrestleMania?
no, because I thought it was a fair loss. WrestleMania 6, it was a fair loss. Like he lost that fair and square. He didn't get fucked over or buried, you know.
So you didn't watch Survivor Series live. You just heard about it.
Yeah. And my friend played me the commentary, and like they had Bobby Heenan screaming Hulkamania is dead. And I was like, I can never watch this. And then King of the Ring 93, same thing. Like, I can't watch. It's disgusting.
Can you imagine if you by chance was watching that live?
Oh,
like somebody said to you, "Hey, I'm ordering the pay-per-view. You want to come over and watch it?" And you had to experience that.
Oh yeah. I wonder how I would have felt seeing it live, because I wonder if I would have got over it right away, but I wouldn't watch it. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch that.
How did you feel when Hogan lost to Warrior?
I didn't like it, but I did watch it because
you watched it without knowing he was going to lose, right? You just
no. I watched it. His loss to me because Hogan went and hugged him and stuff. The problems with the 91, the 93 Hogan lost, I was already over WWF. I was kind of getting over it. And then when he lost and then like he just went away, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to watch this anymore. You know what I mean? They lost me as a fan for like 5 years, right? So I was already kind of like sick of watching wrestling. And that was like my heart out, you know? But the 91, my problem with the 91-93 loss is he lost unfairly, and he didn't really get revenge for it. He kind of got fucked over both times. Like
on the Yokozuna one?
Yeah, the Yokozuna one, he never gets revenge. He just goes away.
No, he never he never gets revenge. He just gets kicked out of the company.
Yeah, right? So I was like, but I was already over wrestling. So that was my excuse to just stop watching. You know what I mean? I
was actually very happy that Yokozuna beat him and then he disappeared.
Well, me and my other
friends, I was never a Hulkamaniac, right, to begin with, but I was really done with it. Because I was a Bret Hart guy. I was a big Bret Hart guy.
No, I hear there was a lot of people like that, but me and a few of my friends, we stopped watching for like 5 years because of the King of the Ring 93. And
really?
I
stopped watching because of the fucking screwdriver.
Dude, dude, if you would ask me about wrestling in 96, I was embarrassed that I watched it. Like I was embarrassed. It was an embarrassing fact of my past. Like to me, it would be like, I thought I watched gay porn. Like I was like, I can't believe I used to watch that shit. Like I was embarrassed I was into it.
Yeah. And you don't kind of go through a period like that. I went through a period where I was a little embarrassed. I used to openly mock kids in school for watching wrestling when it's
I did too.
When secretly, if I was ever like somewhere and somebody said you want to watch some wrestling, I would be like, yeah.
Yeah.
I would be like, yeah, well, we can put on the Raw, you know.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. If they didn't get him when they got him, I don't know what would have happened, because man, he really, I mean, when they made all their millions selling to Endeavor, they literally should have called the boss and been like, thank you, because this is because of you. They hate that though. That's why Vince turned them in 2002. He hates it. He hates the fact that he is where he is because of two guys in two key moments, Hogan in the 80s and Austin in the 90s, because both times he could have lost it all if those guys didn't work with him. And he hates that. He hates that.
That's why he doesn't want another person
Yes.
Has that much power.
That's why LA Knight is going to look like a bitch. That's why LA Knight is going to look like a bitch at Crown Jewel. He's going to lose like a bitch.
When is Crown Jewel? I think that's going to happen. Yeah.
In 3 weeks.
Oh God.
He's not going to lose. He's going to lose, and he's going to look like a fucking idiot losing. So we all know that, you had, look, we gave him his little push, and now it's over, and now he's just like everyone else. Like,
you think that's gonna happen?
Yes. Yes. And then, dude, I already see fans. Dude, it's crazy to me. When I was a kid, when I was a kid and I was a fan of fucking the Big Boss Man, I would have fucking if Big Boss Man got a title shot, I would have been like, yeah, I want him to win the title and be the champion. Like, why would I not want him to win? Fans now are like, oh, I'm so excited for LA Knight's match. He's definitely gonna lose. But then you know what I think would be great for him is like he can beat Logan Paul at WrestleMania. And I'm like, they did this with Sami Zayn too. This is how WWE's conditioned people. You're already set up for this guy to have a consolation prize. Like you're not like if he's your guy, you should right now be praying every day for him to beat Roman Reigns. Like I don't give a fuck.
Do you think that's like teenager, young adult fans, or do you think
Yeah,
little
there's
kids?
I've seen like
little kids are different. They're
no, I've
probably
seen teenagers. Yeah, but like when I was a teenager and if I wanted like you're already like booking like a consolation prize for the guy, which is weird to me. Like people already have conditioned like that. Like to me, it's like the old fans like oh yeah, but WWE is a long term. Like remember when Josh Alba goes like, "Where they're not in the business to please the fans," and I'm like, that's the wrong way to watch wrestling. Like people, if you watch WrestleMania to see Cody Rhodes win. You can't like the whole drama, the whole thing about sports or like what is like or getting caught up in the action, being like you're supposed to be pissed when you lose. You're not gonna be like, well, there's a plan and they want to do business next year. You're not a fucking executive. Just be in the moment and want your guy to win. And you know what? If people did get like that and they felt it, they would have LA Knight win. But they know already that you've already accepted that he's just going to be a consolation prize. So they're just going to.
I mean, like you said, that's WWE conditioning. That's
Yeah,
not
they
really
condition people.
fault. Yeah,
Like that.
and I mean, man, imagine Vince if he really isn't in charge. You imagine they pull a fast one on us and he does win. That'd be pretty interesting.
That would be great, dude. Because like the thing about it is, if Hogan lost in '84, so he gets the match with Iron Sheik and he loses, people would just stop watching WWE. Like they would have been livid. You couldn't go to those fans in the garden and be like, well, there's a plan. You know, they see Ricky Steamboat as a better like champion, so they're gonna build for that at the first. Like, just be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I wanted Hogan to win and he lost. I'm just gonna go watch fucking Jim Crockett. You piece of shit.
I mean, I guess you could say that happened with Lex Luger and WCW.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like anyway. All right. That's the show. Follow us on Instagram, Goots' Wrestling Pod. Follow me on TikTok, Ray Goots Comedy. Follow me, Ray Goots, on Instagram and Twitter. And follow Andrew Lee, Andrew Son of Lee, correct? All right, guys. We'll be back next week for the Great American Bash 1991 and the end of Ric Flair in WCW. We'll see you then.